All right. Hello, everybody. I am so excited to do this Zoom with you guys tonight. For those of you guys that I haven't met yet, my name is Ashley Walmer, and I am a triple diamond. I've been with It Works now for 3 years, which is just crazy to me. It's flown by. And tonight, we get the pleasure and the awesome, little bit of time that we have with her to interview and pick the brain of Ambassador Diamond, Alissa Bilyue. And I met her about 2 years ago in Grand Rapids and just was in love with her personality and everything that she does for this company. And you guys are going to fall in love with her tonight too. She is such a special person. She's an amazing friend, an amazing mom, and I'm so excited that you guys get to just learn from her tonight. So, Alissa, are you there?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can. Okay.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, let me put you on Spotlight.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so I don't want to take up any time at all because I know you have some amazing tips, but I first kind of want to start with your story. Can you tell everybody a little bit about why you got in?
Okay. Cool. I am Alissa Bilyue. I live in Fishers, Indiana, and I got started in this business. This is so crazy. Almost 4 years ago, you guys. It will be 4 years next month that I joined It Works. And, life before joining this business, it wasn't very great. I was a teen mom living on food stamps, government assistance. I was always intrigued by network marketing, and it was always something. And two, I just always had this feeling that there was just something more inside of me, that I'd do something really huge, but I never knew what it was. I dropped out of college. It wasn't for me. And, just having Harper so young, I think that I had to grow up very, very quickly. And so, there was this point where I was just so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was like, there's got to be more, And so I discovered this business on Facebook. There was a girl here, her name's Tiffany. She was posting about it. And I was like, what is this? I was so intrigued by it. And she was just posting belly picture after belly picture, and bellies were everywhere. And so, at the time, I had $5 in the bank when I joined this business, and I didn't even have the $100 to purchase my kit. And so I had to sell stuff locally to just even have the money to do that. And that for me was, if you don't have the $100 to join the business, you need the business. So you better find the $100. And I'm telling you, just kind of going off topic, but I'm telling you, if someone wants it bad enough, they will come up with $100, just like I had to. And so I joined the business, and immediately I saw so very quickly the potential. I saw what this could be. And so I just hit the ground running. It was ignorance on fire. I had no freaking clue, you guys, what the heck I was doing. All I knew is that there was a wrap. I didn't even know there were any other products, and I was just telling everybody about it. I built, I did build very quickly. In 7 months, I went triple diamond. My 11th month, I went presidential diamond. In less than 2 years, I went ambassador diamond, and earned over $480,000 in bonuses since I've joined. I hit the Millionaires Club my second year in. So year 2, we were welcome into the Millionaires Club, which is just amazing. But it's those things are great, but it's so much bigger than that. And I think that, when you realize just the opportunity that you really do have your hands on, you have the product, you have the business, and now it comes for you putting in the work. And I was never afraid to put the work in. And I think that that's the reason why I'm here. I started doing self-development, which is something I'm so huge on. I started doing that immediately. And so for me to lead anyone, I have to lead myself, and I have to take care of myself and my mind and protect it and grow. And so that's what I did. And that gave me just so much confidence right from the start. I was a Ruby hosting team trainings and meetings. And like I said, it was ignorance on fire. And that mixed with my self-development just grew my business so quickly. I've been able to I live near family now. I'm able to, I retired my dad from his job. I bought my mom a car, paying off debt, traveling the world, giving back, and just showing my daughter Harper, what it means to really work hard and to give and to just live and dream. And I think that that's the biggest thing that I just take from this business, is just showing her, that path and what that looks like. And that, especially, as a woman in this business, you can crush it and you can work your freaking butt off and make something huge happen. And your kids are watching you the entire step of the way. And this business it's transformed my life in so many ways. I've met the most amazing people. And I think that, like I said, the personal growth has been so, so huge for me as well.
I muted myself because I have a really bad cough and I didn't want to be coughing the whole time you were talking. It's really hard not to be like, yes, yes. I love it. I love that you said you weren't afraid to put in the work, because like Cammie always talks about how your work ethic rates your paycheck, you guys. Yeah. And it is so true. I remember when I met Alissa, it was right before she got into the Millionaires Club. And I had asked her, she was already ambassador, and I had said, we were at dinner and I was like, what's your next goal? Like, what are you going to do now? And she's like, I want to be in the Millionaires Club by the time I turn 25. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like I was 33 at the time, and I loved just sitting across the table from you. You have such awesome energy, and it was so fun to watch you do it just a couple months later.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. I was like, she did it. She said she was going to do it, and she did it. And I love that about you.
I don't mess around. I think that setting goals is so important, especially, if you're just getting started in the business, or maybe you've been in for a while. You have to set your goals. And like I said, don't be afraid to put the work in, because you're going to be freaking terrified. Like, there are some goals that I've written down, and I think that my biggest, most scariest moment was deciding that I'm going ambassador. You have to just decide. And that's one of my biggest tips for you, is decide that it is going to happen and decide when. And so I chose a month. I chose, I got my team in place, and my hands were like shaking whenever I wrote it down, and it was real and it was going to happen. And what comes behind that, I know that you have a question about just non-negotiables for your business, but I'm telling you that this doesn't come quick and it doesn't come easy. The work that you put into this every single day, it matters. And that's what you have to remember, is that if you do want to build a significant income, or you want to get your debt paid off so much quicker, you're going to have to put that work in, and you're going to have to make a lot of trade-offs along the way. There's so many things that I've had to say no to get to where I am today, but now I get to say yes to the things that I want to say yes to, and I get to say no to the things that I don't want to say yes to anymore. And so that for me is, just spending that time with Harper, that, there were nights where I would sleep 2 hours a night, 3 hours a night, but I knew where I wanted to go. So like I said, I wasn't afraid to do that, because I knew where I was going. And so that's just what you have to remember, is, you have to set a goal, and it's non-negotiable. Sorry, my dog is going crazy.
No, you're fine. He's so cute.
She's like so little and so loud.
Okay. So speaking of like putting in the work, so what does that look like for you every day? Like, what are your non-negotiables? And I think it's funny because I know for me, my non-negotiables were not any different than when I was a Ruby than where they are now. But I think sometimes people think ambassadors, like, they don't have to do as much. They've already gotten to where they need to be. So like, what are those things that you do every day that move your business forward?
Okay. So oh my gosh, let me yell at her. Hold on. This is my reality. Okay. Sorry if I don't grab her. She's just going to keep barking. You know, it's funny that you say that, because I think that we get destination disease, and we think that, you know, when we hit a certain rank that we make it, or things get easier, or just whatever it is. But here's the thing, is that there are days now that I'm working harder than what I was when I was building to where I am. And that's a part of being a leader, you know. And John Maxwell, he says, you know, I have the opportunity to be on one of his elite, and he says, if you don't wake up every day wanting to hand your leadership off to someone else, then you're not leading. And so that for me is just so huge. But you guys, what I'm doing still every day is exactly what I was doing when I got started in the business. And that's, you know, there's nothing different that I'm doing than you. I'm messaging people. I'm following up with people. I'm going to 1-to-1 missions and bringing guests. I'm doing wrap parties. I built Belly to Belly for up until I was triple diamond. I would just meet people at coffee shops and get as many people as I could around a table and share the opportunity. I still do wrap parties. I still blitz people. There's nothing different that I'm doing, but I have to do the leadership part in addition to that. So there are days where I'm working harder now than what I was. But for my non-negotiables, you know, I have like this like laminated binder, which is so helpful, but I have like daily contact list. So I have a highlighter, and every day my goal is to message 100 people. So I do that, and I can send you this file too, so that you can share it with your team. And then for this is my distributor follow-up list. So 25 loyal customers and 25 distributors. And same thing, I have a highlighter that I use that I go through. But I'm making posts. I am sending out messages through like my Instagram story. And I did send you, Ashley, that training for Instagram that I just did. You guys are going to want to go and watch that. It's about 30 minutes. So I know that we won't have time for me to go through everything. I'll cover some of the stuff, but Instagram is where I'm building my entire business at right now. You guys, you have to decide, you know, if you're building on Facebook right now, that's totally fine. Stay there, stay where you're building. Maybe you're building on both. For me right now is solely Instagram. That's where I'm building my business. And, you know, I still do stuff like out and about. I'm not afraid to do any of that. Granted, I do get hives when I'm blitzing, and it just totally freaks me out, but I do it anyways. Cause if I'm expecting you guys, like my team, to do it, then I'm going to do it too. And I have to learn, you know, what are my strengths? What can I teach? So if you are uncomfortable with doing wrap parties, if you're uncomfortable with blitzing, if you're uncomfortable with social media, just dip your toe in it and just start learning, you know, what does it take to be successful in that area? Or what can you teach someone? Sorry, did you hear the dog's voice? This is my oh my gosh. And so you guys just have to, you know, be okay with getting uncomfortable. And every day, every stinking day, you guys, I'm just getting so uncomfortable. And that's how my business is growing, is because I'm doing the things that people are afraid to do, you know? And so that's what you have to remember. But I'm also, you know, I'm connecting with my new distributors. I'm connecting with my leaders. I'm writing encouraging posts on teammates. On some of my teammates, you know, I'll pull reports and see who's working, and I'll message them. Or if I pull a report and someone signed 3 customers, I'm going to send them a message or write on their Facebook wall. So a lot of recognition and making sure that you're celebrating the small things along the way, especially if you're just getting started in the business. I'm telling you, you are going to fail every single day. For the last almost 4 years, every day I fail at something. But what you have to do, and you have to remember, is celebrating the small things along the way. So celebrate when you sign a customer, celebrate when you sign a distributor, celebrate whenever you do send out those messages, or when you blitz someone, or when you schedule a wrap party or host a wrap party. Celebrating the little things along the way is going to just pumps you up, and just, it's awesome to do. Let's see, what else do I do every day for my business? I'm following up, I'm messaging people. I know that you do have a follow-up question on here, and I suggest assigning a day for this, because I feel like what happens is, you know, if we're on social media, we fall into the scroll hole. And so like we find ourselves just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and we're not working our business. So making sure, you guys, that you are keeping track of your time. For this, I have an app, and it's called Focus Keeper. And what it does is it schedules times into 25-minute increments. And there's like a huge study on it. If you're really that interested, maybe you're green and want to read the study on it. But just how it's so much healthier for your mind to do things that way. And so, you know, for that, I'll put my Focus Keeper on, and then then I will, let's say that like I need to clean my kitchen. So I'll clean my kitchen for 25 minutes and then a little dinger goes off. A little dinger goes off. And then you get like a 3-minute break. And then the next 25 minutes, maybe I'll send out messages on Instagram. And so I think that, I do have it numbered here, but knowing that, okay, I did 25 minutes and then I'm going to do 25 minutes of something else. So you don't necessarily have to keep track of the number, but keeping track of the time is very important. And so Focus Keeper just helps me do that. So I'll spend 25 minutes adding people on Facebook, 25 minutes following up. And I do have scheduled follow-up days. And that just helps me because I want to make sure that I'm not falling into the scroll hole or getting distracted. I do want to make sure that I'm using my time very wisely. And that's why I said, you guys, you're going to have to be making these trade-offs and like turn the TV off and send out 50 messages. You're going to have to say no to certain things so that you can stay and work. You're going to have to say no to going out with your girlfriends on a Friday night, and you're going to work your stinking business because there are people who can't go out because they can't afford it, and you could change their life. And so, or you could jump on a training and grow your mind and be learning. There's always more that you can be doing. So you have to be the one who's making those trade-offs. And, follow-up tips and kind of how I stay organized with that in my phone. So I'm always getting people's info, their phone number. And, on Instagram, it's important, especially, if you are messaging on there, that you do go back and forth for a few messages, because that's going to bump up your algorithm. So you want to go back and forth just a little bit, but then I always get their phone number. And when I get their number, I'm putting their name, like let's say they're potential loyal. I'll put PLC in front of their name and then their first and last name. And that way, when I'm like, okay, it's follow-up day, I just type in PLC and every single one of my potential loyal customers will come up. And so then I can send out messages that way. And then same thing for distributors. I do PDT. And I also, so in the note section in a phone, let me pull this up and I'll show you. I just try to, okay, so this is like the note section in your phone. Everyone has this. If you have an iPhone, there's a note section. So here, like if I'm talking to someone, I immediately will go right into, tell me more about yourself. What monthly income goal do you have in mind that could help you breathe? And on that Instagram training, I read some of my messages and stuff like that. So you guys can have access to that. But then I keep track of everything that they're telling me. And so if she's wanting to lose 30 pounds or if whatever her monthly budget is, those types of things. And I use that when I'm following up. So I would say, hey, Jessica, I know that you were really excited about jumpstarting your weight loss, and I would love to help you lose that 30 pounds that we had just talked about. And so just kind of reminding them why they contacted you in the first place, or why they responded to a message, or why they voted on a poll is really important. And so I always use that tool just to kind of take notes and keep track of everything. And also the calendar close is huge for me. If I don't sign them right then and there, I get a date that I am signing them. And so like let's say Amanda can't sign today because she doesn't get paid until Friday. So in my calendar, and I suggest that you all have a calendar, whether it's from the Dollar Tree or if you have one, this is mine. And then I would just go to Friday and I would write her name in it. And that's huge too, because what I do also is if I know that Amanda's signing on Friday, on like Wednesday or Thursday, I'll send her a message and say, hey, Amanda, I'm so excited to get you started. We're going to have so much fun. Just a quick, just like reminder message, just letting her know that she's on my mind, that I'm thinking about her, that type of thing.
So I have a question about that, because I feel like, it is easy to get that date if they say something like, I get paid on Friday, or I can't do it until next week when I get paid. But if they're not signing right then and there, and that's not something that they're saying, like if they're like, well, let me think about it. How are you getting that date from them? How are you trying
to say, let's pick a date.
Okay.
I don't really mess around with it. Either you're going to do it or you're not. So let's pick a day. Is it today or is it next week?
Okay. I love that.
What day are we doing it? Yeah.
What day?
I'm always like, okay, what date? Like, let's pick a date, or let's set a goal to choose a date. And especially, if they don't have the money, especially if they don't have the money for a kit, I say, let's challenge you. And I usually will give them like a week. I'll say, I'm going to challenge you to get this money in by this date. Or like what date can you think of that will push you a little bit to get your $100 in by? So like starting kind of have them goal setting and challenging them before they even start is huge. And then for a customer as well, if they can't afford the product right then and there, I would say, okay, we're going to get you set up. Like, give me a date. We'll do it then. But here's what I want you to do is I want you, like no more fast food. We're done with fast food. We're going to start making trade-offs. No more fast food. No more Starbucks. Like no more this and no more that. And we're going to start saving your money so that you can start ordering more products so that we can just get your health right on track. And a lot of people are like, wow, okay, okay, whatever you say. But I think that it's just so important to just kind of help them realize too, this is a lifestyle change. So when I'm talking to someone about being a loyal customer, I do let them know that, you know, this is a 3-month commitment, but our goal is to keep you on these products. You know, they're made with natural ingredients. They're plant-based products. And so they're going to need time to work in your body because chances are that your body is, I mean, it's not being plant-based right now, you know? And so we do want to give the products time to work in your body. And so we are going to continue you on these products. And that's just kind of what you want to let people know is this is a lifestyle change. It isn't just, I'm going to feel good for a couple of months and then I'm done. Your goal is to really understand, you know, what are they wanting? Are they wanting to lose weight? Are they wanting energy? What's their price range? What trade-offs can we start making so that they can start putting more money away for more products to just start feeling better or to get better sleep or whatever it is. And so you really have to, you know, this is a listening business. You have to listen to people and what their goals are. And then, you know, start assigning products to them based on that. And if you're just getting started, when I was getting started, you guys, I would just carry a catalog with me. And as they were telling me their goals, I would just flip through the catalog and I would just start reading, okay, so this is your goal. You need this product, this product, this product. So don't overthink it. It's not like you have to know all of the products tonight. Okay. Product Coach is amazing as well. And you have access to that at your fingertips. And there's just tons of different things on there that will help you when it comes to assigning products. And your upline is there for that as well. But for me, when I'm signing a customer, I'm always doing their first 3 months. So I'm saying, okay, your first month, we're going to do this. Here's your second and here's your third. And then they know that they get a login and a password. And so immediately it takes that pressure off of them because they're like, what the heck do I order for 3 months? I don't even know. And so I kind of lay that out. Sometimes I'll do 6 months. And then that's also huge when it comes to just sealing the deal because they don't feel like they have no idea what they're doing, but they have a specific plan.
Okay, so going back to your follow-up thing that you were saying, because you were talking about picking a specific day, and I know lots of people do like follow-up Friday. I'm a firm believer in following up every day, which I think you probably do too, but when you had said like pick a day and you do more of that, like how many times a week are you doing that?
I would say probably like 3 to 4 days a week. Yeah.
Okay. Where you're spending more time.
I'm still sending messages on that day, but I'm spending a lot of time doing follow-ups. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
I love that. Okay. So another question that I really wanted to ask you, and this is probably not like a normal tips from the top question, but one thing that I think sets you apart, and I remember when I first met you, you talking about how you had a blog and how you had a little bit of a presence online already. And I think that branding yourself is so huge, even when you're first getting started. Like, I want people to come to my page and see something very specific. But what are some tips that you have for like just getting started with some of this stuff, like how to brand yourself?
So the biggest thing, like when it comes to building an online influence and branding yourself, you have to know what is it that you want to be known for online. And you should have at least 5 different things. Hold on, I had a list. I thought I had a list written down. So you could do things like maybe it's health and wellness, working out. Maybe it's being outdoors or being a stay-at-home mom or being a working mom, or just crafts. There's so many things that you can be known for. Fashion or, self-development, leadership. what are the 5 things that you want to be known for? And these are things that are like things that you do every single day. Because here's the thing is when you're building an online influence, you're building a brand, you don't want to be someone else. You want to be yourself. So you don't want to jump on Instagram and try to be like me, especially if you're nothing like me. You're going to build just that natural following. And I think that that's how I built my following is, I'm just myself. And a lot of people know me for, I love fashion and I love leadership and I'm all about, just being a mom, things like that. So what do you want to be known for? And I would choose 5 things. And those are going to be the 5 things that you build your entire social media around. And that's going to grow. And, there are times that I'm posting about food or friends and family and all of that stuff are things I love. But as far as like my online influence, I'm building a business, And so I would choose 5 things that you want to be known for. And then next, it just comes consistency. That's what people look for, as a blogger. Just before I started this business, I was really just it's so interesting to just be in that world. And, here's the thing when it comes to bloggers, my life online looks so freaking amazing and perfect. And you would never know that I had $5 in the bank. I had tons of sponsors. I had amazing opportunities to work with just incredible brands, but they would send me like product and we needed money, And so all of these bloggers that you see and their life looks perfect online, I promise you that it isn't. And so don't be afraid to reach out to those people, because I'm not even kidding you when I say that I literally had $5 in the bank and my life looked perfect online. And, but that was just a side note, but consistency is the key. And every day you have to be offering content to people. And that's kind of once you really start being yourself and figuring out those 5 things, you might see your following go down, but then as you stick to those 5 things, it's going to grow. And so just kind of be prepped for that, because that probably will happen. But don't be so obsessed with the number. So don't be so obsessed with following X amount of people and unfollowing this amount of people and how many people are following me, because that's so easy to get sucked into, and it kind of takes the joy out of what you have to offer to your audience as you're growing your brand. And that's probably my biggest tip for that is, who is your audience and who are you as well? What 5 characteristics are you going to bring into your online influence?
I love that. So good. So good. Okay. So, oh my gosh, I could just pick your brain all night long. Okay. So I know you said you we're going to go super deep into Instagram, but what are a couple of like really just easy, simple tips that you guys, or that you could give us about like Instagram specifically? And I know for me, stories was something I'm just now starting to kind of wrap my brain around, and the polls are flipping awesome.
That's where I'm building everything right now, is through stories. And okay, so a few of my biggest tips I would say is, for one, you have to be doing Instagram stories, you guys. That is going to make your algorithm bump up so high. And you want to be doing a call to action on your story. So whether it's having someone send you a message, if you if you're not doing a poll, you always want to be doing a call to action. And as far as how many, that's probably going to be a question, is how many do I do? That just depends on your audience. And so that's kind of something that you're going to have to test the waters with a little bit, because it's different for everyone. And so for me, it's about 5 to 10 a day that I can get away with. For some people it's more, for some people it's less. So you have to see, what does your audience want? And if you haven't done Instagram stories, your number is going to be low. The more you do it, the more the algorithm is going to bump you to the front.
So when you said 5 to 10, do you mean 5 to 10 stories or 5 to 10 different call to actions?
5 to 10 different stories.
Okay.
Yeah. I usually will do 1 call to action a day.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And then you can too, so whenever you have, let me pull this up. Okay. So right here, do you see this little, it's like a little clock,
Yep.
But that has all of, like, whenever you do a story or a poll or anything, those are all right here. So they don't go anywhere. So it will only show for 24 hours on your story. But then you have, like, if you're like, oh my gosh, my poll's over, and like I didn't like send out my messages or whatever, those are all right there. So just so that you guys do know that. The next thing I would say is you want to, this is why it's important to just really be yourself, because the more that you're yourself, the better your content is going to be, the more genuine you're going to feel when you're writing it. And a goal right now, especially with the algorithm, is going live is huge, video is huge, boomerangs are huge. And just your goal is to get people engaged on your page, okay? So even if there's not a lot of people who are viewing your stuff, if you can start getting them engaged, that's going to bump up your algorithm. And also having people be saving your posts. So this is in my training too, and I'll just go over here. Okay, so like if I write a post, and like if I'm on someone's page and I'm like, oh, that's a great post. Maybe it's a product post or whatever. You can save it right here by clicking this button. And then you now have, well, you've always had, it's called collections. Okay, so let me go. Okay, so then you click this right here, this button on your main page. And then I have collections. And so I have like product posts that I've used from other people, business posts, photo ideas that I want to do, and then people who I'm engaging with on their actual pages. So I turn notifications on for people, but sometimes my phone will go off or I'm not on my phone for a couple of hours. These are profiles of people that I'm engaging with because I want them on my team. Does that make sense?
Yes, totally. Okay, so you have the peoples that you're engaging with, business, products, and what was the fourth one?
And then just photo ideas that I want to do.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Awesome.
And then, but here's the thing is your goal is you want people to start saving your post, because the more people who are saving your post, it's going to bump up your algorithm, because Instagram's going to be like, oh, people are liking what she's posting. Let's have more people see this. And so that's why that's important as well. And if you're just getting started doing stories, you're going to want to kind of start interacting on, like on the people who are following you, start interacting on their pages, because then your story is going to eventually make its way to the front. So usually it's about the first 15, like the first 15 people who are here on your stories are the people that you are either searching their profile the most or engaging with most. And so that's why it's important for you to do that, because you'll move to the front of the line. And the more you do it, the closer to the front you're going to be, which means the more that people are going to see it.
Do you feel like there's a different way if you're interacting on people's stories versus just on their normal Instagram, or is it like the same weight for algorithm?
You know what? I would say it's about the same, but with messaging, like if you respond to their story, it takes you into that message, and going back and forth in that message for a second is going to boost your algorithm as well. Yeah. And then some myths that I can bust for you guys really quick is shadow banning with hashtags. There's no such thing. So you don't have to worry about that. The placement of hashtags, they used to say that you had to place them in your like actual photo caption, or else it's not going to register, but you can post it in the comment section under your actual post. So you can do that. It just looks cleaner that way, but it kind of depends on your audience. Some people like it in the caption, some people don't. So they used to also say that you can't edit a post after you make it, or else it bumps down your algorithm, but that isn't true either. You can go in and edit your posts if you need to. And the last thing, what was I just getting? I was just getting ready to say something. Oh, okay. So one thing that you do want to do, if people are commenting on your picture, you want to respond within an hour, if you can, to their comments, because that's going to bump up your algorithm as well.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. I probably will get off of here and then go watch your Instagram training video.
It's like 40 minutes, but oh my gosh, it's so helpful for you guys. And I show you too how I make stories, what that looks like, that type of thing. Just kind of getting creative with that.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So moving on, because we all are probably going to get off here and go watch that, right? I saw all of your guys' heads like start bobbing. So, okay, one thing, you know, you moved so fast and so quick in this business, and it's kind of similar. I had promoted to triple within, you know, my first year, and we're at a place right now where I have my team in place for Prez, and we are all promoting this month and next month, and it is
I love it.
insane. I'm so excited for everybody. So what are some tips that you have about like promoting and like how to like prioritize, or like what that looks like? If you could take us back to like when you were promoting.
Oh my gosh.
Bring us into the craziness.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So the first thing, just like you said, is you have to decide that it's going to happen and when it's going to happen. I think that promoting certain legs at different times is so huge and so helpful that you're not all doing it at once. And then, oh my gosh, you have to have your leadership in place. And when I say leadership, I'm talking rubies and emeralds and diamonds. They all should be leading teams. So if you're a ruby, I'm expecting you. I have very, very, very honest and upfront expectation conversations with people of what I'm expecting. You know, if you're going to this promotion and you're a ruby, this is what I'm expecting from you. And this is what I'm needing from you. Are you in or are you out? Do you want to be a part of this or do you not? Because I need to know, because that's where I'm going. And so either you're coming with me or you're not. And, you know, when it comes to those conversations, it's important that everyone is on the same page. And so I kind of lay it out as, okay, so I start at the bottom of my chart and I just work my way up. So I'm looking at my rubies and then those executives. And then those rubies they're leading that entire team. I'll step in, I'll look at their chart, and we'll kind of, so we'll look at the chart together. We'll see all of the volume. Where's the volume needed? Kind of what does that look like? And what I like to do, especially for, you know, for rubies, I love to just kind of break down the volume amount that's needed as far as, okay, this is X amount of customers, or this is X amount of whatever. And that kind of just helps them, especially if this is maybe their first like big promotion. Maybe they're just getting started and they're already going ruby. Sometimes a lot of the time they don't understand their chart. So they can see it, but they don't freaking understand it. And so we have to break it down for them and say, like, if they're going ruby, maybe they need one more distributor, two more distributors. What I like to do is I like to say, okay, the next distributor goes here. The next distributor goes here. So then I'll help them number their chart as far as that goes. But those rubies, they're in charge of that entire team's volume. And so they're leading by example. They're posting, they're hosting parties, they're doing online parties, they're signing customers, and they know exactly where to move them. So I'll kind of step in and I'll show them, you know, where the customers need to go. And usually for that, I'll have the emerald or the diamond above them do that. So I'm just kind of here to say, okay, this is our plan, especially if they are my personally enrolled. I'm doing most of this. If they're not my personally enrolled, whoever their upline is, they already know to have this conversation because I have upfront expectations with them as well. And so now the rubies are good. The emerald understands that they're leading the rubies. So they're checking in with the rubies. They're checking in with anybody under the rubies that might just need that extra push or just that extra coaching. And then obviously their top line. Same thing. Are you in or are you out? This is what I'm expecting from you. You're going into emerald, which is incredible leadership. Here's what you need to accomplish this month. This is their game plan. Here's their game plan. Here's your entire game plan. And it's just laying it out for people and letting kind of just paving that, okay, this is what you need, and then send them on their way. And with the diamond, it's the exact same thing. We have the emerald and the rubies. This is why layered leadership, you guys, is so important. I'm hardly touching some of the people because they already understand. Do you hear my dog running around? Do you hear her?
I thought that was maybe Harper doing something.
No, and my dog, she's nuts, you guys. She's never like this. But layered leadership is important, and you should be doing this from the very beginning. If you're a Ruby, you should be training your executive how to lead those people under them. And don't be afraid of that, because I'm telling you, when it comes to a moment where, maybe you need to put your phone away, you're not freaking worried that everything's going to crumble if you put your phone away for an hour, because people are good. You have layered leadership. And, especially as your team grows, it will probably start to happen very quickly once you do hit certain promotions, because people are looking and they're watching and they see that you're making X amount of money. They're going to start joining you. Your team's going to start growing very, very quickly. So having that layered leadership in place is so important. And then comes the time where you start making even more trade-offs, and you are so laser focused. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will take your focus off of the business. And that's what you have to make sure the people around you understand. And I'm like, whenever I was promoting, I remember I was promoting, I think, to presidential and then also at ambassador, I made the decision. So like I said, I'm not afraid to put the work in. Once the decision is made, I will do what it takes to make it happen. So there were nights that I was sleeping 1 to 3 hours a night. And I remember by the end of my ambassador promotion, I was so exhausted. Like I could hardly even dress myself. I'm so freaking tired. My house is a mess. I have papers everywhere. I have team coming over every day. I have everyone's charts scattered throughout my dining room, my kitchen, just everywhere. And it's a team effort. So you're not doing it. You're not doing it alone. Okay. You have this entire team who is locking arms with you, and you guys are all doing it together. So that's why communication is so important. And what you also have to remember is it's like a 20-80-20 is kind of how I explain it. Or a 10-80-10, sorry. So 10-80-10. So 10% is, especially if they're coming in and they're wanting to be a leader. So they're in a promoting box. It's 10% of that time you're spending on mapping out a game plan for them. What does that look like? What does the customers look like? Do they know exactly where they're placing distributors and customers? And then for that next 80%, you send them on their way and you let them get to work. And so unless, if I'm working with someone, especially my higher leaders, they are like every single day they'll send me an update, but there's really hardly any communication besides the update. Or if they need something from me, I'm not just chatting with them all day. They're focused. They're over here and they're working. And so for that 80%, I go and I let them do their thing. They know they can call me, they can message me, they can come over and work with me, but we're all so focused that we're focused on enrollments and nothing else. And then that last 10%, they're coming in and we'll do like an evaluation. And so we'll say, okay, where do we need to improve? What does this look like? What could we be doing more of? What did work? What didn't work? And that is so, so important, you guys, is to just make sure that 10-80-10 is in place, and that 80% they're off here and they're working and they're leading their teams and they're just showing their teams what they're doing. How are they booking parties? How are they signing customers? How are they signing distributors? What does their conversations look like? And that's what they're doing all day long.
Oh my gosh, you're like blowing my mind right now. What's really good about some of this stuff is I feel like we're already doing this, you guys. Like, this is what is happening, but I think it's just even more confirmation of like, yes, right on. Yeah. Okay, so I know I didn't ask or I didn't send you this question, but right now we are just focusing on just like that small fraction of distributors, right? Like if we needed 40 more to be completely boxed all throughout our team, like it is whittling away every single day. Our enrollments have gone up 3 times the amount that they were the entire month of February. I am like, every day I log in and I am like, oh, it just tripled our entire last month. That's and crazy. I think like, just to be like very honest with you, like we were a team, like a lot of my team, they're amazing at supporting their team and layering the leadership, but we weren't recruiting the way that we needed to. And that started with me as well. And so I think right now, like they're just doing amazing. But what are some of your like best tips for finding distributors, or like someone that you want in this business? Like,
Okay.
what does that look like for you?
Quality over quantity is so important. I have, whenever I'm bringing in a new distributor, and even for myself, I have 5 characteristics that I'm looking for from someone who's a leader, or someone that I'm wanting as a business partner. Sorry, not as a leader. I know exactly what I'm looking for when I'm looking for distributors. Granted, I do have people that will just come and they want to sign up. That's going to happen. But whenever I'm like sending out messages and contacting people, do they fit those characteristics? And I think that you have to, when you're building a business like this, you have to remember that this isn't just like a get rich quick. This is like you're building an incredible business for yourself. So you owe it to yourself to bring people into your organization who fit all of your characteristics. And so even when I'm bringing in a new distributor, I have them immediately write down those 5 characteristics that they're wanting. That takes pressure off of you feeling like you have to start signing anybody and everybody. And, when I'm signing someone or when I'm looking for someone, I always will look, what is their social media like?
That was just Mike. You've got a noisy dog. I have a noisy husband.
Oh my gosh, I love it. My dog's licking my feet right now. At least she's quiet. So I just, I'm looking at their social media. I'm looking at, are they positive? Are they like, what value could they bring into my team? And there's so many things that I'm looking for, but I can kind of tell by that first initial conversation, I can tell a lot by that. And same thing with meeting someone. If I go and have coffee with someone, I can pick up your energy in 2 seconds. Like just when I make eye contact with you, I know. And, that's something that I think that we're all just so different at. So you do have to figure that out yourself. As far as how are you bringing those people in? But for me, I think that, so quickly, if I bring someone into my business, there have been people where I'm like, I don't know if they're going to be good, but yeah. I think that's why leading by example is so important, because I know that there are people that I brought into my business who they don't freaking know anything about network marketing. They don't know anything about building a business or owning a business, but they're willing to learn. And so if I ask you, can I coach you, or are you willing to learn? And they say yes, those are the people that I'm working the most with. And same thing, if I bring someone in and they're slacking a little bit in their business, I always say, are you open for some coaching? And that kind of is like the gateway to talking about, like, maybe their posts aren't great. Maybe you need to talk about their posts. Or I'll say, send me what you're messaging out to people. Let me see if we can tweak that a little bit. Sometimes it's just like a few words that need tweaking, and then it's an incredible message. So those little things. But as long as you're working with the people who are coachable and who are hungry to learn, those are the right people.
I love it. Okay, so one more thing that I just thought about as you were talking is, how do you get, so those new distributors that you're bringing in, you meet them at coffee and you're like, oh my gosh, she's going to be good. Like, what do you do to get her into action right now? Because I think that, when we're looking at our charts, guys, we've got 2 weeks left to promote, and there's still some people that we need to fill those boxes, which means that they've got 2 weeks. We've got 2 weeks to get them into massive amounts of like action. So what are some things that you would say would be some tips to get them into action right away when they first sign?
Well, first I would say if you still have spots on your charts that need filled, I would get that done in the next 3 days.
Okay.
Because you got to get that volume in. So fill those charts in the next 3 to 4 days. Maybe Friday would be the last day that at least that I would get those charts filled. When it comes to just getting people started, you have to, it's the same thing as whenever you're showing someone what it looks like to promote to Ruby. I come in, like when I sign you up, I bring you in and I help you understand immediately what Ruby looks like. So they'll have a Ruby chart printed off. They're going to have their 5 characteristics, and then they're going to have what can they do with $500 a month. That's going to be written at the top as well. And then what we're going to do from there is we're going to number the Ruby chart based on where are we going to be placing these 5 people. And that kind of helps them understand too, like what charting looks like. And then on the side, we're going to put 1, 2, 3, and 4 for their customers. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the distributors that we need for Ruby.
And do you have them start like listing out, giving you names of people?
Yep. So they fill that, like when I'm with them, or I'll jump on the phone with them if they're not local, they fill that out right then and there. Or you could have them do steps to success. I just like having it all on one chart, like one place.
Yeah, I like that too.
And so then immediately we'll schedule their launch. So if you guys are signing a lot of people, you got to work smarter, not harder. You have to do like a whole, like just a big group launch. So whether you're doing, maybe you're going to have to be doing 3 or 4 of those a week. If you guys are signing a lot of people, or just different days work better for different people, take an hour out of every night and do a launch party. But you could also have every single person on your team be inviting people, because you need all of that volume. And so people are going to be placing volume. People are going to be signing new customers. I always am huge on upselling. And so if they're interested in one product, I would say, okay, you can get this and this for this price. And getting at least, going into a promotion, you should be signing customers that are at least 100 in GV. Yeah. And there are people that want that much product. So don't let that freak you out, because I'm telling you, people have the money for these products. And they will buy it like this. But you just have to know and really focus on their goals and what they're wanting for like the next 3 months in their health. And then make sure that you're recommending products according to that.
Okay, so this is getting so good, and I'm sorry because I'm asking you questions I didn't send you, but
fine.
Okay, so we're all going to be boxed by Friday. And we're going to get all of our people going. So what are some like last minute ways that you've been able to like bring in volume for promotions?
Oh my gosh. Asking people for favors or to become a customer, friends, family. I will post, I always, and like every single person on my team who's promoting will post like, I'm going for a huge promotion, that type of post. We're following up with perk points, and with perk points, what you have to kind of upsell with perk points as well. And so someone could have 30 perk points. Well, let's try to get them on a system and like send them some before and afters of someone using the system, and go back through and look at, okay, what are the last 2 products that they ordered? Maybe there's like a little package you could put together and be like, you're saving X amount of money. You're going to be spending this much, and you're going to be saving this much. So then I would take the retail price, whatever their perk points they have, and add that on to like you're saving X amount. So doing that as well. Asking for referrals is so freaking huge. And you could even, if you are doing host to post, or if you have a customer that's just always ordering, I would say, hey, Amanda, I just can't thank you enough for supporting my business. I'm going for a huge promotion this month. And if you could send me like a list of 10 people that might be interested in ordering products, if at least half of them order, I'll send you a free sample of keto coffee or a free wrap or just whatever that is. But referrals is so huge, and host to post is amazing as well.
It is literally changing my business right now. It's crazy. So I have a question I was going to ask you, and it might be in that video. Have you been able to do, because I know you said you're pretty much working on Instagram. Are you doing it at all on Instagram? Have you figured out a way? Okay.
Nope, I'm not doing it on Instagram.
Okay.
I would just do it for Facebook for now.
Okay.
And really maximize that.
Okay. Awesome. What's interesting is like a year ago when we had a ton of promotions going on, we had people doing host to post unintentionally by like what you just said, asking for favors, asking their mom to make a post for them, and people getting 13, 14 customers in one day. So I love that. Okay. Well, I know, we have you for only like 5 more minutes. So what would be just like one last minute tip that you would give to all of us?
Oh my gosh, hold on.
And then I know I'm going to go watch your video right now.
I think that my last minute tip is, like I said, don't be afraid to put the work in. And I know that like there are going to be moments where you overthink your business or you doubt yourself or someone is doubting you. And trust me, like this will creep in all the time. Like there are even days, you guys, I've been doing this for almost 4 years, and there are still moments where I'm doubting myself, or like someone will like just say something and they're not supportive or they just don't get it. And here's the thing is that if you know, like I'm telling you that you are in the right place at the right time, you have to be the right person in this place and during this time. Okay. So you're going to outgrow people. You're going to have to like release relationships, whether it's a friendship or, you know, maybe it's just certain family members. You're going to have to protect your energy while you're building a business like this. This isn't normal. You know, what we do isn't normal. People don't understand it. It is going to be the new normal, but people haven't caught on to that yet. So you have to just be willing. Like I said, those trade-offs are huge, but those trade-offs also include releasing things and people from your life that don't benefit you and your business and your vision to where you want to go. So I want you to know that it's okay to want more for your life. It's okay to have a vision of what is the next year of your life going to look like. 1 year in this business could transform everything. But you have to realize if you're afraid to put the work in, nothing's going to happen. Don't be afraid to put the work in. Don't be afraid to hear no every single day. I still hear no every day. I will still show up at a coffee shop and my potential ditched out. I will still blitz somebody and they're not interested. And so you can't be afraid of those things. And listen, you're going to fail every day at this. You're going to fail at something. It is not easy and it doesn't come quick. But if you can stay focused on your vision and helping as many people as you can, and you're not afraid to put the work in that it takes for that. So that's why it's important. What do you want? And why do you want it? And what is going to stop you? You have to write down those questions. And then the last question is, do you believe that you can be successful in this business? And if your answer is yes, then what the heck are you waiting for? Because there's someone right now who was living where I was living, on food stamps and government assistance. And I would cry myself to sleep almost every single night. I would puke over the toilet because I was so stressed out. Had someone walked up to me or had someone message me, I probably would have joined this business so much sooner. So don't be afraid to hear the no, because hearing all of those no's is going to lead you to the people that do need this business, the people that will say yes, and they'll freaking figure out a way. And you don't have to know everything right now to be successful. When I was getting started, like I said, I had not a freaking clue what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was willing to learn, and I was willing to grow, and I was willing to, I was okay with not knowing everything just to start growing my business. So you don't have to know everything right now. And you also have to know that when you're working your business, you might not be the one who signs the runner on your team, who signs the next ambassador diamond on your team. That might not come from you. But have you not sent out your messages and blitz somebody or wrap somebody? Maybe your runner's your cousin, a second cousin to someone that you sign who signs 10 levels down from you. You never know where that person is going to come from. But you can't be afraid to put the work in. And when I say it doesn't come quick or easy, I mean it. It is this business isn't quick and it isn't easy, but it will change your life. And it will change your life in so many ways outside of finances. You have to start growing your mind starting today. Don't wait. Start growing your mind. That's going to build your confidence. Okay. That's going to build your knowledge. It's going to teach you how to lead. There are conversations I've had to have with people as a leader that I would have never been able to have had I not started my self-development. There are patterns that I've broken. There are, like I said, relationships that I've had to let go of because I know where I'm going. And just knowing where I'm going, I'm not afraid to let those relationships go. I'm not afraid to have those conversations because I know what I'm building here and I know what I have my hands on. And I'm just a girl from a small town in Indiana. I've had no experience in a business like this, no experience in sales, but this business can turn the average person into a millionaire. And I'm proof of that. But, everything that you're going to experience along that way, you have to just really be open to it and always ask, you know, what can I learn from this? Or what else does this mean? And you're in the right place at the right time. And I'm so excited for you guys, because I think that, you know, building and getting focused these next 6 months, if you don't do that, you're going to regret it. You got to get focused. These next 6 months in the business is so freaking huge for you. And so you've got to know, what do you want? Why do you want it? What's going to stop you? And what's your business map? And if you don't have a business map, get with your upline or freaking figure it out on your own. That's what I had to do. Don't complicate this, you guys, but just know what you want, why you want it, and what does it take to get there.
Well, I have tears in my eyes because listening to you is just so amazing. And I'm also just so proud of you. Like, you are just such a phenomenal person. And I just love the way you lead from your heart.
Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thanks for having me on here, Ash. I just love you.
Oh my gosh. I love you too.
I'm cheering for you guys.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's do it. I can't wait to celebrate with you.
I can't wait to either. Well, thank you so much for taking time away from your puppy and your daughter.
Oh my gosh. That darn dog. Oh my gosh. You're so welcome anytime.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Have an awesome night. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
See you later.